Alesia Michelle.
Hey girl,
I'm ready to go.
how you feeling?
Eurovision fam. Are you ready for the show? Hello, Eurovision fam. I'm here. I put the live stream on. I'm a little bit late. And I've got my not so great glasses here. Okay, so it's there's a lot to talk about actually. And the crazy thing is I'm like, I don't think anyone is here. And there's a lot happening. There's so much news. Like so many things have gone down. We know who Slovenia is sending to Eurovision. That group actually is looking like they could be doing something. And I feel like in a normal, I don't know if we're in like our normal Eurovision sort of vibe. Like we don't have a ton of countries competing. You know, the country that won this last year isn't actually hosting. And so I do think it's a little bit interesting. It's sort of a bit of a tricky year because I just feel like it's sort of like this atypical year still. But I feel like if this year wasn't atypical, I feel like this would be a year for a Balkan country to win. That's what I think. I feel like this would be a year for a Balkan country to win. I think. I think that's like a crazy thing to say. But because I think that this year is sort of an atypical year, I think so. This is like very early predictions, but I feel like I think I would expect, um, I would sort of expect this year to be a year where I think a big five country could win. I think if the UK takes it seriously enough, I think the UK could win. I think if Spain sort of keeps up the momentum, I think Spain could win. I don't think we have to check for France or Italy, probably not Germany. But I do think that this is a year where a big five country could come in and really make its mark. Uh, but I also do think just from what I'm hearing, it seems like Ukraine is also coming to the table with some heat, some fire, something to like check for. So to think that Ukraine could win again, I don't think is crazy. So let's talk about like the biggest piece of news that hit this week. Joker Out is representing Slovenia, and I have seen like one clip of like a past video they've done. It's sort of stylistic. It feels very fresh, but it feels like they have like an actual like point of view. And so I'm actually thinking that they might be giving us something good. Uh I'm looking forward to this. This was like an announcement where it's like, okay, you selected your artist and it was like, oh, they're actually good. They could actually get it done. So I'm definitely thinking Joker Out. There's some folks to check for, definitely. I mean, obviously, Joker Out is joining Cyprus's Andrew Lambro, who I guess we're going to be getting his song, they're saying, sometime soon. So actually, we'll have a lot of time to digest the Cypriot entry, which I think is smart. I am still kind of waiting with bated breath to see what Albania ultimately decides to put together. So looking forward to that. And then yeah, like I'm looking forward to that. I am curious too. about what Australia has in the bag, because the other big piece of news is that Australia will not be doing Australia Decides, but they will be doing some type of internal selection. To me, what that indicates is they already know who they're going to send. I don't have any predictions, but I think they know who they're going to send already. I don't, I, like, to me, if you're going to cancel a whole television show, it's like, yeah, we don't need to do this because we know so and so is going to like represent us. I know there was talk of Dami Eames saying that she was like ready to represent. So I wonder if it is just Dami Eames coming back. I wouldn't hate that. She's an amazing vocalist. I think the only thing about Dami Eames is, it's not like she's a performer. She's a vocalist, but she's not really a performer. But this year might be a year where maybe people are not hungry for that sort of big stage show performance aspect. So I think that's really interesting. Yeah, I think that's a bit of our news. I'm like, what else sort of hit? Rosalind continues to burn up the charts. And it's interesting because I've seen a lot of folks just like, oh, like, since she's doing so well, like, how could the juries have not given it that much attention? And I think for me, like, Snap, although I thought it was well delivered, I thought it was a good song, for me, it's just not my personal cup of tea of like the music that I like to digest, because I ultimately feel like the song, there's a youthfulness to the track, and it's a youthfulness that I think plays well on platforms like a TikTok. And if we think about the people who like make things hip, it's young folks. So yeah, I think that's huge. Um, San Remo, some of the big name participants have been revealed too. So like Elodie is back. I know y'all love Elodie. I think the other group that was notable, Marco, is going to be back. Like, that's pretty big. And then what, I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Tanai, I think, has had some hype in the past. So yeah, Tanai will be back. So San Remo, I think, is going to be interesting, but I don't think that, Italy is coming here, attempting to win. I don't think that that's what Italy is coming here to do. I don't think, at least. Okay. And then what else? Okay, I'm like, what else are like of the big it's interesting because I think people were wanting me to do a video when they announced the new voting changes and whatnot. But I did do a Twitter Spaces conversation, so I felt like I already put my opinion out there, but I have not put my opinion out there about the voting changes. So the big things that are going to be happening is we're no longer going to have juries in the semifinals, which I feel great about. And I think, just if you're thinking about producing a show and you're thinking about the quality of the grand final, making sure that the people are getting to see the things that they really want to see, I think, is the primary piece of importance. In my 10 things I don't want to see at Eurovision 2023, I did name that I was like, I don't want to see any songs that didn't have televote points make it to the grand final. I was like, this to me isn't just like a personal choice, but I'm like, it's just the thing that seems to make sense. So essentially, they listened. They listened. But ultimately the juries will still be in the grand final, which I think is good. I'm happy that the juries will be around in the grand final. And I also will say, I think it adds a little bit more mystery, just a touch more mystery to ultimately like this kind of setup. Like, because I will say, like, it gives me a clue. I don't know if folks really know. When we see what sort of makes it through from the semis, it does give you a little bit of a sense of what the jury is into, what they're not. So then it makes like reading those tea leaves for the grand final a little bit easier. So we won't be having that this time. Yeah, we won't be having that this time. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think that adds a level of mystery and just that excitement that will come through in that grand final jury vote, I think will be there. So that's nice. And then the other big piece of news on this voting lens is the fact that viewers in non participating countries will be able to vote online. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to have like oh the North American vote and so like it's just going to be an aggregate of all of it and 12 points. So all the Europeans who are like, Eurovision has just gone too far. I'm not going to watch Eurovision ever again. If this is the thing that's going to make you stop watching the show, then you never loved it that much to begin with. Period. Period. You never loved it that much to begin with. If you're just like, I'm so over this. I'm gonna let this go. Then yeah, you didn't really care. You didn't really love it. Just admit it. Just admit it. You didn't really love it. Um, because yeah, this is not really going to make that much of a difference. But I think the beauty of this is it gives us kind of another moment. It's like that moment when the person gets to win the televote score and it's like, yes, like we are the people winner. That moment when the person gets to win the jury vote, and soak up that glory. Now we're going to get to see a country win the global vote. And I think that that's a huge like honor to have of like, I might not have won the whole thing, but like the rest of the world came together and really understood what it was that I was trying to do. I think also the exciting thing is, or the potential exciting thing is, what if someone just wins in all three categories? We haven't seen something like that lately where it's like, and it's been a while since the jury winner has matched the televote winner too. So we could find ourselves in a moment like that this year. It's possible. It's possible that that could happen. I don't know. But I do think that this voting change ultimately, I think it's just going to make the show a little bit more exciting. I think after kind of the dud announcement, a little bit of how many participating countries we had, we needed something to inject a little bit more excitement in this road to Eurovision. And I do think that this acts as a nice little bit of excitement being injected into the contest overall. Well, I'm just going to keep this stream a little bit short because I just wanted to touch on all of these like sort of big announcements in the world of Eurovision. But we are going to connect again, and I want to connect with you all live before Christmas. We will have to set up some time before Christmas. Plus, I got to show you my Christmas decorations. They're really, really legit. Yeah, you're going to have to see them. So please stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.